Welcome to your weekend focus for June the 5th and the 6th, 2021. My name is Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly, and thank you. Thank you truly for all of the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. I send it right back to you. We have the Moon and the Knight of Pentacles jumped out, so we're going to look at that, I guess, before we do anything else. So it's really about that inner belief with yourself. It's about going within. It's about believing. It's about understanding what makes you happy. It's understanding your passions, your desires, your dreams, and then having a belief that things will work out. Things will come together as you go forward, as you put focus towards it, as you give it attention. So the moon is all about the inner balance in order to experience freedom, liberations. And we have the Knight of Pentacles here. Now, the Knight of Pentacles doesn't have any armor. He doesn't even have a little pack of food or anything with him. There's no reins. And we hold that abundance right out in front of us. And we have to have our faith that the horse will take us to where we need to go, that no harm will come to us. And so this is a little bit about believing that there's a higher power than yourself, and whether you call it a divine energy or a God or Buddha or whatever, this is the time to talk to God, your angels, your spirit guides. And it's a time to believe that they are surrounding you. That so long as you are putting the focus on where you need to go and you're doing all the things that you need to do, that they will do the things that they need to do in order to move you forward, move you in the right direction. So it could be a little bit about intuition coming in there, your sage wisdom, thinking things through. June the 5th, the 5 energy, 2021, 5 energy. So we have our yearly energy, and that's about joy and happiness and creating it in your life and being creative as a whole. Okay, your creativity is beautiful under a 5 energy. Romance, beautiful under a 5 energy. If we do the energy of the day for Saturday, it would be a 16. Now a 16 is awakenings. And 1 plus 6 is a 7, so it's standing in your truth. Now, the awakenings, sometimes the awakenings happen in a way that we don't think it's all that great. Okay? It could be a very negative thing that happens to you, or you hear about, or that's the energy that happens around you for some reason. We're under a lunar eclipse energy, so it'd be things that were removed from your life, taken away. And trust me when I say that the 16 energy never comes in to take away something that you need to go forward, but sometimes we need that. Sometimes we feel we need that and we don't want it to go yet, or we knew it needed to go a long time ago and we just tried to ignore it. We tried to look the other way. We tried to move it to the back burner. We tried to hide it under a rock. And so it shows up so that we have to look it in the eye. And it's really standing in our truth. Okay? It's really about standing in your truth. So if somebody asks you to do something and it just doesn't feel like it's going to move you forward or it's beneficial for either of you, or it's just follow your gut. Okay, if something feels wrong, chances are it's wrong, or it's going against the grain of who you truly are. Okay, and this is where we can be asked to join a team for somebody else's agenda rather than our own. It doesn't do anything for us. And there's a lot of things that we can do that doesn't necessarily look on the outside that it has anything to do for us. But it does. Either we become more giving or empathetic or compassionate or richer, or we land a new job because we showed up for this function that we didn't want to attend. Sometimes it works in our benefit. But if I heard spidey senses, if your spidey senses, if your intuition, if your sage wisdom is telling you that this is going against who you are as a person, that it doesn't match your energy or your path forward, say no. Don't. And watch communication too, because we have Mercury in retrograde. So, and I think when Mercury went retrograde, Neptune was involved. And Neptune is going to be involved for a while yet, because, because Mercury is in retrograde. And so discussions, business dealings, they can become complicated. Um, there could be misinformation, or we heard it wrong. So try and stick to the basics when you're talking to people, when you're trying to make decisions, when you're trying to barter for something, maybe. June the 6th. The 6 is about, well, that's love, absolutely love, relationships. So it could be great passions, great desires. And we may even, under this energy, because I think Mars and Pluto are kind of a little ticked at each other in the sky, and they're arguing. So something that we were very competitive with, or it's kind of like we want to be number one. We may find some very unsavory ways of becoming number one. So be careful of that. You don't want to go against, once again, yourself and what you stand for and your values and your morals. Okay. If we do the numerology of the day, it would be a 8. So 17 and an 8. Now 17 is making the impossible possible. So, our desires, our passions, our love could just, just go wild. Okay, so be careful of that. Because we see how we can do something that we thought we couldn't do before, or have something that we couldn't have before, or be in a relationship maybe with somebody that we really thought was out of our league or something. It's making the impossible possible. Now, if you go 1 plus 7, it's an 8 energy. The 8 demands action. So we have to not only have our focus on our passions, our dreams, our desires, but we need to roll up our sleeves and get to work on them. And the 8 is all about bringing out our strength, our courage, maybe taking a risk on ourselves. And walking with integrity, talking with integrity, acting with your integrity intact. So don't make any stories up or get into any kind of gossips or dramas or rumors. I mean, stay away from drugs and alcohol, because they get you talking about things you never want to talk about. You can't believe you talked about them after you sober up. Now, the sun is in Gemini for the whole weekend, of course. The moon is in Aries for Saturday, so we could feel a little bit more gumption and wanting to do things. Now, if you are planning on doing any sort of tasks or anything, because the moon is moving into Taurus on Sunday morning, and I think it's while we're sleeping. Well, most of us are sleeping, so we'll wake up to that Taurus moon. If you didn't get it done on Saturday, you're not going to get it done, okay? So pick small little tasks, things that are only going to take a couple of hours at the most. You'll see a result from your efforts. That's important under the Aries moon, because we want to feel that pride. We want to feel that sense of accomplishment. The Taurus moon asks us to back it up a little bit. We'll maybe looking at our finances, home, beautifying our homes, stopping to smell the roses. It's more of an earthly energy of being grounded in your 5 senses. And so experience the world through your senses under the Taurus moon. Absolutely. Let's grab some cards and see what they have to say. That's a weird little cut. Okay. Our first card is, look at this, the King of Cups. So revisit your plan, your strategy. Are you Are you prepared? Are you prepared to, do you have the right people around you? Do you have enough money? Do you have enough time? Do you have enough energy? What are some of the things that you need to get done? Get off your plate. Where's it could be a bucket list. I heard bucket list, but the to do list. Because under this lunar energy, we want to release, we want to let go, we want to finish things so that we are not taking them forward with us. This could also be healing. Have we had that conversation with somebody else that we needed to have that conversation with? Or did we need to revisit it in our own minds without attaching the emotion to it so we could be a little bit more understanding of what we were doing, what we were looking at, how we were acting? So there could be a lot of emotion with this, but your ship is coming in. The ship is in the background there, right? So your ship is coming in. So are you prepared? Are you prepared to go on that next journey? Step into that path. Start that business. Begin that relationship. Join that club. Start that project. Are you ready for those things? You don't want to decide that you're going to do your own kitchen cupboards. You're going to take them all down. You're going to strip them and everything. If you're planning a family dinner 2 days from now, because your kitchen will be a wreck, and you'll be like, oh, what was I thinking? So we want to, think about things. We want to revisit the plan. We want to revisit our strategies, and we want to know that we are set in all areas, that we're not burning the candle at both ends, that we have the vitality and the energy that we need in order to accomplish, in order to do, in order to become. Or maybe it's time. We want to do this, but we're not allotting ourselves enough time. So work out that timetable, that framework, in order that you have the time to accomplish what you want to accomplish or do. Financial, right? You get this call, and AMC is going off the the charts in the stock market, and so you want to get your money and you want to throw it at AMC, but can you afford to lose that money, or is that money already earmarked for something else? Because if you're going to take a risk or something like that, then you want to make sure that what you are risking is not something that you need going forward, right? So you could be looking at your finances or how you spend your money, and is there a different way of spending our money? Maybe we could make our own coffee instead of going to the coffee shop every day. Maybe we could just get the headlines on our phone for free instead of buying the paper. Those nickels and dimes and quarters and dollars do add up to sums of money that we could utilize and make it work for us. We have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is believing that you deserve. The storm has passed. So even if you don't believe that the storm has passed, because many times if a storm comes, a big storm, a gigantic storm, even though that storm has passed, it's still raining out or it's snowing out, it's still unpleasant out. So we still may be in the aftermath of the storm, but we need to start planning for our future. We need to start planning for what we want to come into our lives, because we deserve it. You deserve it. You are worthy of it. We have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is back again. We haven't seen the Four of Wands in forever, but it's coming back now to join us here. This could be partnerships, marriage. Okay, this is a time when a lot of people would normally get married, early June, at least in where I live. And the sun is going to be going into Cancer soon, so we may be looking at those wedding plans. We may be going to a wedding. We could be celebrating a relationship and growing it deeper and stronger. We could be looking at the foundation of a business partnership and saying, okay, so we know it doesn't look like the castle, But we've got the four wands in the ground now. We've got our four corners. We've got our base on which to build, and we throw a little bit of garland up on the wands to give it a little bit of, ta-da. And it's not where we are going to end up, but it is a stage that we have gotten through and completed, and we're here in the now. So it's about celebrating as well what you've accomplished so far, especially with somebody else. This is a card where it's somebody else is involved. So it could be a family matter, it could be a business matter, it could be a community matter. But something, a partnership, a relationship, a marriage, those kinds of things, growing and growing them strong. We've got, look at this, the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, the energy will be changing. We know the energy will be changing because we are going to have our solar eclipse soon. Another week, maybe. So we want to be ready to move into that elevated path, that new path that shows up for us. We want to move, pardon me, we want to move out of that the season, okay, and step into the new season. So winter from spring, spring to summer. What season are you in right now? And how are you going to move? How are you going to transform, manifest that new path in front of you? That new way of doing, being, becoming, that elevated path. Maybe we want to learn something. Maybe we want to grow our minds or our talents or our abilities. Maybe we know that we need to promote ourselves or do some hot contacts, cold contacts in order to grow what we are trying to do. Maybe we are looking at different things that we can join within the community or the world at large, because the internet is here. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in our community. In order to prepare ourselves to move forward in a new direction, maybe it's letting go of something. Maybe it's allowing healing in. Maybe it's completing something. Look at one more card. Look at this, the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is all about dream, 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 and then dream some more. Go outside of the box, break through that glass ceiling. What do you want? Dream it. And get emotional about it. The Page of Cups is all about love and embracing it and imagining, unicorns and rainbows. And no, probably in the reality, the unicorns and the rainbows won't show up, especially as frequently as we design them in our minds. But to let our subconscious know that that's the goal, it'll talk to our conscious about moving us in that direction. So we do have the 17 energy with us. So that's making the impossible possible. That's finding a way forward where you thought that it was blocked. You couldn't go forward for whatever reason you thought. And now, all of a sudden, things are coming to light that had remained hidden before. There'll be more things coming to light that were hidden before as the Mercury retrograde goes on. And we're going to look at probably the third week in June before that's over with. So we've got a little bit more staying power. And if we make our decisions cemented a little too early, we will get information after the fact that really would have benefited us in the starting steps. So this is about the dream. This is about using your imagination and dreaming it and seeing yourself happy and seeing yourself successful and seeing yourself with the people surrounding you that you want to surround you, the environment within you want to be. And tap into that emotion, tap into that feeling of happiness and joy. It's your thought, it's your mind, it's your imagination. So imagine yourself happy and joyous, celebrating, accomplishing, having successes. Whether it's in relationships, jobs, community, or our own inner selves. Let's see what our mantra is. Dragonfly, live life to the fullest. Live life to the fullest. How are you going to live life to the fullest? You're going to imagine yourself living life to the fullest first, and then your subconscious will, in fact, get a hold of your consciousness and start to look for things to make you happier, make you feel the joy, the celebration that you want to live life to the fullest. It's a decision, it's a choice. The dragonfly lives near water and represents the ability to be emotionally strong and flexible. It's one of the only creatures that can fly up, down, sideways, and backwards. Living your truest life is a responsibility. Do not let it be trivialized or lived superficially. The dragonfly is a symbol of knowing who you are and what you want, making informed decisions, and live life to the fullest without regrets. The mantra is, I am emotionally strong and live my life without regrets. And we will get, I know we don't have a dragonfly in our animal card, so I know we're not going to get a double like when we got the owl. But let's see what the animals do have to say to us. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's like 5 cards. So that's going back. We're not doing 5 cards. We will see which one decided to stand out. Okay. So look at this. Oh, deep rest. Look at this. Deep rest. The little mouse shows up. So especially on the Sunday, when we have the Taurus moon, we'll probably want to pull back a little bit. So if there's a rest period, I don't think Saturday we're going to all feel too much like resting, because we have the Aries moon, and we got the Gemini sun, for goodness sakes. That's when we're out and about and we want to trailblaze, we want to pioneer something. It's the I am, we're feeling strong, we're talking to people. Keep it to the basics with communication. Remember, there's going to be a lot of misinformation. You may think you're saying something absolutely right, and then you watch the aftermath and you're like, they didn't hear a word I said. But it could just be, so if somebody says something to you, then paraphrase it, say it back to them, and, changing the words around a little bit so that you completely understand. So what you're telling me is, make sure that there's no gray areas in speech and communication, especially, I'd say probably for another week, probably till the solar eclipse at least. We want to watch what we are saying and how we are saying it, using our words wisely. Keep it basic, keep it simple. But also, we're going to have that energy that is very much, a passion. And we'll want to be number one. We'll want to succeed. We'll want to blow past everybody else. We'll want to have this person helping us and this person doing that thing. And we may use some things that kind of go against our grain. We may be too assertive, or we could be a little ruthless in our actions, because we want to achieve it so badly. So just keep yourself in check. Is this realistic, what I'm doing, or is it using or abusing somebody else's time, energy, resources, or abusing my own time, energy, resources in order to get that? And it'll be a strong desire at the time, but we have the mouse here saying deep rest. So I bet you Sunday, that's the day to just unwind. And what's it going to tell us to do? It's going to tell us to dream. I know the mouse is going to tell us to dream. Deep rest, lazy, sleep, rest, meditate. Rest is not idleness, and to lie sometimes on the grass under the tree on a summer's day, listening to the murmur of water or watching the clouds float across the sky, is by no means a waste of time. Mouse says it's time for you to make time for laziness. You don't have to constantly be on the go. That's how you become burnt out. Spend a little time each day or week doing something that you enjoy that is completely frivolous and fun. It could be an afternoon laying in the hammock, reading a book, watching your favorite old movie, playing with the kids. This is not a time to begin anything new. It's a time to restore your spirit. Sometimes rest doesn't necessarily have to be sleeping, it could be just quieting your mind. So take some time grounding yourself. Try yoga, gardening, fishing, spending time in nature. Spend some moments each day meditating or just being in the moment. And you don't have to physically be at your happy place to go to your happy place. It can simply be within your mind. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. And Milo says, yes, it can simply be within your mind. So the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Start by seeing a field or a beach that, you know, you would be comfortable on. Put some trees, palm trees there, and maybe put a drink with an umbrella in your hand, or um, maybe you got a perfect beach hat that you always wear, or maybe it's you're in a deep forest and it's quiet and it's calm and it's cool because the sun can't really get through the leaves and it's 90 degrees outside, but here it feels like it's a beautiful 75 and you can just breathe and relax. And there goes a squirrel and a chipmunk and a couple of birds flying in the trees, and rest. And so imagine these things. Now it's your imagination, okay? So if you want your trees to be purple, orange, green, lime green, yellow, you can do whatever. They can be giant marshmallows on sticks. It's your imagination, but it's going to make you happy. It's going to make you smile inside. Something about it says you are safe here, you are comfortable here, and it's time to just breathe, or grow it even bigger, grow it even better, grow it even stronger. Deep rest. Deep rest doesn't always mean that we are sleeping. Deep rest can just be taking time to breathe. It can be imagining a happy place in our mind and just going there. Meditation isn't always about, stop snoring, stop smoking, lose weight, get over a fear and anxiety. It could be just going to your happy place. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.